It all began more than 50 years ago when a mechanically inclined Navy veteran had just gotten out of the service.
He took a job as a mechanic's helper at a car dealership and then moved on to the parts department.
Then hired away to become the parts manager of a DeSoto and Plymouth dealer, and he started selling used cars.
Soon he was working until noon in the parts department before selling from noon until 9.
Eventually becoming a general manager, yet wanting to become a dealer, eventually applying for a franchise on 29th and North.
And on March 1st, 1964, I opened up a Plymouth dealership.
How did you know you wanted to go into your own business?
Well, I'd always dreamed about getting into a business of my own so that I could be my own boss, promote some of my own ideas, one of which was to share some of the success of a business if it were successful with the employees, to promote the ideas, to work the ideas that I had observed.
How did you know you could be successful running your own business?
I didn't have any doubts about going into the automobile business because when I got out of the service, I went to work as a mechanic's helper in the service department, so I had a good feel for that. I then went into a parts department. I managed the parts department for another dealer. I sold used cars nights and new cars. And so when I had the opportunity to go into business, there was no doubt in my mind that I didn't know the business from one end to the other.
Why did you come up with the philosophy of completing one new project every year?
Well, I always thought ahead, and I still do. Even, like for example, if today we're successful, I think about how can we be more successful tomorrow, and if we're doing well, how can we do better? I was always looking to improve, and of course that meant building expansions and all kinds of extras, a few new buildings, some acquisitions and so on and so forth, but I kind of made a promise to myself that I would engage in one major project a year to continue that growth.
Dad, what made you decide to add new franchises in these new locations?
Well, if you remember the 1970s, those were basically pretty rough economic times. When the GM franchise became available in Oconomowoc, I was definitely interested in that and I looked into it. But I did look into a few other things too. But all that I wanted to do was to continue to grow and to diversify and to make sure that we had a sound company.
How did you choose what lines to add and where to go?
You know, you don't remember this, but SUVs, that was almost like an unknown word in the automobile business at that time. And of course today, if you look on the road, half the vehicles on the road are SUVs. And at that time, we didn't have anything like that, so we made it a point to pick up the Jeep franchise, which we did. And that helped enormously. And of course, as time went on, we added a couple of Kia stores, and it was all a program of diversification and growing larger because our workforce was growing larger, and we had the opportunities.
Why was it important to go to Oconomowoc?
Well, I was familiar with Oconomowoc because I had a place on Okauchee Lake at the time, and Oconomowoc always had a very, very, very stable economy. And when I heard that the dealer was in economic problems or trouble out there, I went to talk to him. And when I walked in the showroom for the first time, I knew I was going to buy that store. The location was very attractive, and the diversification of going into a General Motors situation at that time was very enticing.
Shortly after going into business, you decided to get involved in leasing. What was your motivation behind that?
Well, leasing and rental is part of the automobile business as far as I'm concerned. You know, we sell new cars, used cars, we service cars, we sell parts, we have a body shop. So there was no reason in the world why we shouldn't get involved in daily rental and long-term leasing.
What was your vision with rental and leasing?
Well, there were a lot of little rental companies around the city at that time, and I don't believe anybody was really concentrating on daily rental. I envisioned the fact that we could get a rental company going along with a long-term leasing company and promote it. And of course, in the end, we became the largest independent rental company in the state. And we are leasing cars in, I believe, 40 or 41 states at the present time.
Dad, employee loyalty has always been an important part of our company philosophy. How did that evolve?
Loyalty is a very important ingredient in our entire staff, and I can't tell you how I have appreciated some of the people that have stayed with us as long as they have. We have a lot of people that have been here 5 years, 10 years. I think our oldest employee is like 31 years. And our success, of course, is due in fact to those people who have dedicated themselves, and it's easy to work with people when you know that the loyalty factor is there. And I really appreciate that. And in this world today, I don't know if a lot of employers really understand how important that is. I personally think it's one of the greatest assets that we have in our business.
How has the loyalty factor changed from the way you first envisioned it?
Well, I don't really think that it's changed a whole lot. I think the basics have always been there. That's what's in people, period. But we provided, I think our company has provided a sound business establishment for people who, and they appreciate that. They love organization, they love stability, and they love the way we do business, and that's, we believe in the golden rule, and I've lived by that from day one, and I just feel that that rubs off on people, and that loyalty is just an automatic situation. That's why we have the amount of people that we have with us who have been with us as long as they have been.
The first thing you notice as an Ewald employee is the importance of family.
And it's not just about the immediate Ewald family. We feel as though we're part of an overall Ewald family.
I've worked for the Ewalds for 30 years. Never missed a paycheck. Put 2 kids through college. Have a nice retirement egg nest. And that's what I call family.
Dad, how did you know you wanted to get into the car business?
I can remember as a young kid, I was 12, 13 years old. I used to ride the city bus on a Saturday morning, and I would take it down to the car dealership, and he basically assigned odd jobs to me. I'd get my odd jobs done, and I couldn't wait to get up into the showroom and watch the people buying the cars, and I just was enamored by what took place. And again, early on, it was something that really interested me.
Was it something that you planned on getting into the business, or was it expected of you?
It was never expected of me. As a matter of fact, Grandpa never even talked to me about it or nudged me or encouraged me. I'll tell you, just based on my being around it, seeing what took place, the excitement that I saw in customers with regards to taking delivery on that new car with their family there on a Saturday, it just excited me from early on.
Then with the years you've been in the business and have evolved, when did you know it was time for you to take over operations from Grandpa?
I think the thing that I had to do first, Eric, was first of all, over the course of time, I started from the very bottom up. I started in the parts department, dusting shelves when I was a young kid. And of course, I worked in all of the other departments. I did a variety of jobs, most jobs in fact. And I felt as though that if I had done some of the jobs that I one day would have to supervise people doing, and I had a good understanding and a sense of appreciation for what it took them to get the job done, then I would be ready. And then, of course, I evolved into operations management.
Dad, you've been working in this business for over 30 years. What would you say is the thing that you're the most proud of?
You know, we've been in business for 50 years, and in that period of time, we have amassed an owner base of 250,000. That's 250,000 customers that have come to do business with us by choice. And I'm very proud of that, as are my partners, as to what we've accomplished in these years that we've been doing this. Second of all, what am I proud of? I'm very proud of the employees that we have working for our company. The experience that our employees are providing to our customers are actually exceeding their expectations, and that's the reason why we've got the volume and why we've got the production that we do right now. And I'm very, very proud of that. The third thing that I'm very proud of is the fact that there's third generation that's in our business right now to carry on the tradition of what was started 50 years ago.
If you were to do it all over again, what would be the one thing that you would change?
If I would do it all over again, I can tell you right now, our company has got the best group of employees that we've ever had in the history of the company. And we're very, very happy to have that, and we're very, very proud of what we've accomplished. But if there's anything that I could change, or if I could get a mulligan, is I would surround myself with the best people that I could possibly get to take and spread the load of what needs to be done every day to take care of those customers and to build our business and have it continue to grow. That's what I would do.
Dan, what led you to join the rental and leasing part of the business?
At the time, Eric, I was out of college about 10 months and always up for a challenge, never afraid of hard work and the long hours that it took. And the opportunity presented itself to take over our commercial leasing division, and I could see that there was a tremendous amount of opportunity with it. As far as in the rental side of it, that complemented that business immensely because there was a lot of synergy between the short-term rental and the long-term leasing. And it was a brand new venture. We did no customer base, no revenue coming in, and it was all upside from there. So I looked at it as quite a challenge, and it's worked out well.
And with that success, where do you see the vision of both of those companies for the future?
With Ewald Fleet Solutions, we've been able to expand our product offerings, not only with leasing, but also with maintenance management, fuel management, purchase and disposal services, as well as a whole array of other services that we provide. So it's not just leasing anymore, it's fleet management at its best. And the rental operation has expanded to 9 locations throughout the years, and we continue to find new niches that we take our business within, and that's exciting, and it's challenging, and it gives us opportunity to continue to provide opportunities for our people and grow the business.
Being the youngest of the 4 brothers, what perspective have you gained growing up in the business?
I think being in the car business, it's really all about being in the people business. And the thing that I've been blessed with is having the opportunity to work with my 3 brothers and my father. I've been able to compare their different management styles, and I've been able to use with my own management style what works best to apply to any situation to take care of a customer, take care of an employee, to be the best that I can be and deliver the best results.
Looking into the future, what do you see down the road for the Ewald Automotive Group?
I think the future is very bright with Ewald Automotive Group. We have great employees, we have great customers that have been loyal. I think we're poised for growth. There might be opportunity for more locations, possibly expanding our lines down the line as we go. I think that as the car business has evolved, I think transportation will probably evolve and change how people use it, what they use it for. And I think that Ewald Automotive Group is prepared for when that opportunity comes to take our company to the next level.
You have the opportunity to start anywhere and work your way up. It's not something just a company says, it's what the Ewalds do.
And it's one of the few places where you can actually see the future. If you want a career that's not just a job, this is the place to be.
My grandson's attributes have landed them in their present positions. They're forward-thinking and they've demonstrated consistency with their decision-making. They have been instructed to walk through the store every day when they come to work because we want every employee to know how important they are to us. Eric, how do you see yourself providing the needed leadership and the direction that's necessary in the future?
Well, I try to lead by example, and I've had some good role models to learn from in the business. And making sure good communication with employees and family members is very important in our business, as well as our customers and taking good care of them. But from a leadership standpoint, I think by leading example and being able to work pretty much most of the jobs within the dealership as I've grown up in the business, I think it provides a good insight because I've got a pretty good understanding and a good relationship with our employees and the people I work with every day, because I not only understand what job has to get done, but I've also understood because most of the chances I've done that job in the dealership.
Have you thought about including advice from people within our group, the family group, as well as people on the outside, like for example 20 groups and things of that nature?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I lean on our executive team quite a bit for advice on a daily basis, as well as employees, but also on the outside from a 20 group consulting and been involved there in some other professional organizations. Let alone, I've had a chance to speak with many of our customers that are successful business owners that have given me encouragement and guidance and outside opinions from time to time.
And of course you have to include employees and get their opinions about certain things because they're the ones that are on the firing line and see it happening every day. Sometimes their viewpoints are just invaluable.
I agree. Sometimes the simplest idea from one of our coworkers gives us the best results.
Right.
So you have to consider that day to day, every day.
Right. Brett, you know that our business has highs and lows. We can only be successful by keeping ourselves highly organized at all times. What will you do to make this happen?
Well, I have to be the boss. I have to hold the people accountable, and with doing that, I have to make sure I have the right people in place. I have the right marketing in place to make sure people are coming to our showroom floor, the right inventory, and most importantly, a good process that everybody knows how to follow.
You know, even when things are going well, how will you challenge yourself to be even better? In my opinion, when you talk about being a leader, you know, you must be firm but fair, and you must make sure that the people that are working for you are doing their job and that you're not doing it for them.
I know I have to concentrate on being better. I need to be firm, but I also need to be fair. And with doing this, I'm going to make our people better over a period of time by working with them on a continuous basis, day to day. I also need to do continuous training, because without training, you can't further develop yourself. And most importantly, I like to be more involved with the community as well.
Jay, as you are aware, there are no shortcuts in business today. You know, you have to take the time to do things right the first time. This sets the example. How will you motivate your people in the future to be the best?
Well, I think there's a couple things that you definitely have to do with your people. And one is you have to coach them. You can't per se manage them. I think coaching is much more effective. You have to set goals with your people, and you have to make sure that they follow through with their goals. And I'll tell you, you have to inspect what you expect and hold people accountable. Because I'll tell you, if you don't hold people accountable and they fail, you've really failed them because you haven't coached them properly and made sure that they get done what they need to get done on a day-to-day basis. We have so many resources at our disposal in our company with our experience and our tenure that no question should really be unanswered because everyone has pretty much been in a situation where they can get that answered.
The only thing I could add to that is when you set your goals for these individuals, put a time frame on it so that somebody's got the goal plus the timing. You know, sometimes it's hard to believe that it's been 50 years, but with the leadership and the dedicated employees that we have today, we're definitely on the right track for the next 50 years.